Johnny here. Welcome back to the channel, first off. Glad you're here. So, last episode, I removed the turbo and cut the hole bigger in the cab to get the transmission to sit where I think it needs to sit. So, today I'm going to attempt to get the engine down a little bit and square it off and hopefully make mounts so then I can get the engine crane out of here, and then this will be where it'll end up eventually, well, in the long run. So I have this handy dandy little digital level. And it's cool because you turn it on, it tells you, like this tells me I have to go up 3 degrees, 5 degrees, 1. And it tells you roughly where you need to be. So if you're doing a carbureted engine, front to back, this way, like this way, you want it to be as close to 0 as possible. You can get away with from 0 to 3% or 3 degrees. So with fuel injected engine, it really doesn't matter as long as you're close to, like I said, 0 to 3 degrees ballpark, because on a carbureted engine, the carburetor has to sit level, so that way the bulbs and the floats in there, they don't run dry or don't, like, a lot of people will, like, a carburetor engine is real hard to go left or right, because the fuel will slosh back and forth, kind of like a gas tank has like a baffle in it. But anyway, so you have to keep it within 0 to 3%, and we are currently sitting at 7.5%. So I'm hoping if I remove the 2 brackets from the car, that'll drop me down another 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. That should get us really close to the 3 degree mark. And if that's the case, then I'll be happy with that. But there's a lot of work to get it there, because I have to jack the engine back up, take those 2 mounts out, and hope that everything slides down to where it needs to be. So yeah, that's what we're working on. Stick with me. Alright, so I picked the engine up from the crane, so now there's, as you can see, I can move the engine around and see. But we'll get you in here. Oh, car just moved on me. This bracket right here, look at that, just dropped my entire light. This bracket right here, let me get you in there. There you go. There's 2 bolts. There's a 14 millimeter, well, they're 9/16 in standard, but 14 millimeter is going to work. I'm going to remove that because these are for the V8, and then that'll give me another inch or so I can lower the engine down with the factory mounts, which are these, the bracket you see up here. So, alright, we'll get that off and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we were able to get the mount off. This is what the mount looks like. It sits on the car like that. And then the mount that was on the engine set down, it actually all but caught this lip right here. So by me removing this from the thing, I gained that, basically that much clearance. So now what we'll do is we'll lower the engine down and try to get it squared up. So we'll put the flashlight down here so I can see. We'll lower her down a little bit. What we'll do is we'll try to center her up. This side is sitting on the bracket. This side is touching the This side's not even touching the mount at all because of the intake's touching. But I gotta make sure the transmission's up. It's close. So what's that give me? Still not enough. Basically at 5 degrees now. So I'm actually getting to the part where I'm kind of not comfortable where everything's sitting. Okay. I got a plan to regroup. Be right back. Alright. Complete change of plan. So now I am going to, there's no mouse in here, it's just me. I'm going to remove the intake. And then I'm going to have to make a bracket to hook the chain to it. But I need this out of my way because the engine has to go down a little bit and come my way. And the only way for me to do that is to remove this. So you get to sit here and watch me remove it. There are going to be, I believe they are 12 millimeter. Verify here for a second. Oh, if this is how the night's gonna go. Yes. So they are 12 millimeter. So I will get all these tools out of my way so I can work. Now, each one, you probably can't see it. This is a runner. So because this is 4 cylinders, 1, 2, 3, 4 runners, and each runner has 2 bolts like this in them. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. And the way that it works is this top right one is a nut, the bottom back corner is a nut, and the rest of them are bolts. So the way that you're supposed to take it apart, pull the bolts out first. There's a bracket right here that holds the 2 sensors for, I think it's the knock sensor, I could be wrong, but pull this bolt out. which allows it to get out of your way. Always put the bolts back so you don't lose them. And then that should allow you to get back in here and get this one. There's one up here. Can't get my big fat fingers back here, so here. Long needle nose pliers work. Now, there should be a nut right here. Which of course I dropped on the floor. One here. And I forgot, the thing probably has the bracing still on it. So, gotta get that off. Got to remove the alternator. Move you over here. Got to remove this. Oh, you can't see it. Can I get you in any closer? There we go. Okay. Got to remove the alternator. Which there's two ways of doing it. There's a bracket. There's a bolt right here. There's a bolt right here. And there's a bracket that's back, so that's it's up under here. That should. No, there's still a bolt up under here. Okay. Oh, there's a bolt down here still, which is not a 12. It is a 14, I believe. Well, Gets the bracket out of the way. Now, it's hard for you to see, but up under here is a metal bracket. I did just have. Maybe. Okay, that's that bracket. What else is holding that? So I have to get the back side of the alternator has a bolt in it. What we'll do, we're gonna cheat. Get that off. Now, there should be again, it's a 12. I'm going to have to go under the car. Back in there. There's a 14mm nut. Now it should allow me to pull this bolt out. pull the elevator off. Okay. Now, there is a bolt right there. Take that bracket off. Okay. So, let's get this off here. Nope, still got the bracket up here. It's covered up. Okay. Now it should come off. There we go. Now, get my brushes out of the way. I think there is. Yep, there's still hoses connected here. Pliers. Okay. One in the back still. Which I don't think I can get this. I mean, if possible, I'd like to get the hoses off the right way, but at this point, I really don't care. Oh, now what's holding me? These electrical plugs. I don't know if I can feed them down. something here. That's rough. Okay, there's that, there's that. Little hook somewhere. Oh, there's another hose back there. There, now what? How's that work? And it's off. Man, that was rough. Now, take this gasket off. Now, I should be able to come down and hook. Something like that. Actually, might be able to go down around. Back up. Okay. Okay. So that gets me back up in the air. The hook's hooked, it's not going to pop off. So, get you out of the way here. So you can see what we're looking at. Okay, so let's over it. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is the entire assembly has got to come this way. So it's got to be like that. So what happens if gotta go that way, like that. Somewhere there. Trans is still good. Now, where did I set my level? Oh, it's on the other side. Let's see how far out of whack we are now. Puts me at 4, just over 4. So, I jack the transmission up. Puts me at 3.9. I can live with that. It's going to be a tight squeeze everywhere. Now, I need to make sure I have room left to right. I gotta get my flashlight. Okay, so the front pulley. Let me take you off the cradle here. As you can see, the front main pulley's off, ½ inch or so that's fine. And then that motor mount, or that mount, the factory mount sitting on top of the frame down there. Okay, steering linkage is down there. That's what we have to check real quick. So that's going to be a problem. So if you look, you really can't see probably. That linkage is only, oh boy. So let me get the camera. So this bar right here is the steering. And whenever you go left or right, it moves the steering one way or the other. So I need to verify if I turn the steering wheel right now, if it's going to hit that. So I'm going to check that out. I mean, as far as the transmission goes, it's, well, here's the frame rails. It actually looks good. So what I want to do, and actually, you see the mount right? So right here is the factory motor mount. So if you look, it's two studs with the rubber bushing. That is the factory SR20 mount process. Now on here, this beam right here where my finger's at, there's a hole in it. So if I'm able to move the entire assembly, so let me do this for you. There you go. So if you look, if I can move the entire assembly back, maybe an inch, it'll line these holes up with those, and that'll give me a place to bolt the transmission. And then from there, I'll have to make the front motor mount. So the question is, do I have an inch to play with up here? It looks like it. So if I do that, so we got to pick the engine up to get the weight off of the cross members, and the car needs to go forward like that. Now you see what it did, it moved the cross member now, or the mounting bracket is back almost off of the thing. So let me set this down. the weight of the engine's now sitting. Yeah, so if you look down this side, you see right here. This just on that. I mean, it's only going up by 1/2 inch, but it also puts us at just about 4, which, like I said, I could live with that. So down over here, where does that put us? And if you look, we're all butt straight across now. So what I'm going to work on now, I'm going to put the camera down to do it, is I'm going to drop bolts down through there and run a piece of square stock across and bolt it up and bolt the transmission to it. And that will be where the transmission will live. And based off of that, so now if you look up here now, that gave me at least a 1/2 inch room up here on the engine to now turn the steering. So I think that's actually where we need to be, under here. As you can see, I told you before, the rear main seal leaks. Alright, so get the back on there. I think we're going to end there for this episode. The next episode, I'm going to get that bracket underneath in the transmission figured out, squared up, and get it bolted in enough that I can move forward with what we're doing. So that'll true up my transmission, because what I'll do is I'll put the bar in and I'll bolt it to the engine, or to the body, and then I'll actually square the transmission up with the tunnel, and then I'll drill the holes and put the bolts down through it and the nuts, and I'll show you that. Then once I do that, that'll square up the engine into the bay where it belongs, and then based off of that, I will build the mounts for the connect to the car. And the way that it looks so far, the brackets are over here. What I'm probably going to do is take a piece of a flat stock. This is about 1/8 of an inch. Here, I'm going to get closer. This is the way that it currently works. Is it bolts on this side and this side, and then there's the channel that you see in there that it sits on. So more than likely what I'll do is I'll take 2 pieces of flat, drill the holes, I'll bolt those in place, and then I'll take a piece of flat stock and I'll curve it to the rail that's in the car, and then I'll weld those together. Weld those together so that way it's straight across from here to here instead of having this big lip on it. And then once I do that, I'll drill a hole through the center of it like this. And if anyone's that's ever done 240s before, one of the episodes here, we'll take a piece of all thread and we'll put it into a Dixie cup and pour polyurethane, and we'll make pucks. Which everyone, if you're in a 240 game before, you've done pucks. Whether it be an SR, RB, or whatever, it's just basically it looks like a hockey puck with threads on both ends, and that'll be our motor mount. And then what we'll have to do is, once we do that, I'm going to have to cut the mounts that are on the engine and move them up and weld another plate and drill a hole through it, so then those pucks will fit down in, so we can mount it in place where it belongs. But thank you for watching, and see you next time.